Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another plan with me. So today I'm going to do a voiceover while I kind of play around with my business planner. So when I was going through my app the other day, so I have Procreate. That's what I draw all of my artwork on is my iPad using Procreate. I was kind of organizing some of my artwork because I don't know. Have you ever just had like a thought pop into your head and you think, "Oh my gosh, what would I do?" Like I had this thought pop into my head that what if like my house burned down? Where would all my artwork go? So I know it's a silly thing to think of, but when you have as much equipment as I do and as much things, how much as much power drawing things that I have down here, um, I tend to like start thinking about things like what would I do if. So I wanted to upload all of my artwork onto the cloud to make sure that everything had a backup just in case. And I was going through my artwork, long story short. I was going through it and I realized that Cozy Books, this artwork right here, I started drawing this in September of 2023. So happy birthday, Cozy Books. It has been a year since I started drawing for the subscriptions because this was the very first subscription that I put out. And I'm really, really excited. So I decided this is the perfect time to go ahead and use this and lay it down in a week in my business planner. So that's what this is. This is my business planner. And I decided to do a voiceover because I had a couple of things that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. Some changes that I'm doing, some new exciting adventure that I'm doing, all that kind of stuff. But I can't do that when I'm laying down stickers because I get distracted by the stickers, and so I can't like tell you things because I'm like all over the place. I'm like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel all over. So voice over me with a note thing right in front of me. It's right here, so I can make sure that I get all the talking points done while I'm laying down these stickers. So a little bit about this planner. This is my business planner. I don't typically put down stickers in this the way that I do it like in my Hobonichi or the way that I would do it in like a regular 7x9 memory keeping type planner. This is my business planner, so I don't want to cover it wall to wall with stickers because I do need a place to actually write. And on the weekly overview, I have a little bit more leeway. I have a little bit more space to write things down. But on the dailies, which is after obviously the weekly, I have all the dailies in there. Um, I I have a little bit less room because that's where I have to have actual like important stuff written down. So the weekly overview, which is this page right here, I've got my little note sections at the bottom and I really, really love those. Those are great places for me to just jot down the stuff that I need to jot down. It doesn't always go by like the little words that are down there, like the next week, the follow up, that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just literally a brain dump area for me. But the weeklies, as you can see, that they're kind of scrunched down a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of stagger the boxes around, do a little bit of deco around the boxes. Those are the daily pages right there. Those are from Jane's Agenda, and they're kind of split up into 3 sections: morning, afternoon, and evening. And then on one side it says schedule, the other side says tasks. Basically, on the schedule side, I write down all of my notes, and on the task side, I write down all of my to-dos, usually broken down into sections like what's today, what's for next week, what's for socials, budgeting, that kind of stuff. It all gets kind of put down into like sections on the daily page, but the weekly page is more like just an overview of things that I need to make sure that I get done. So to-do lists, thoughts, notes, that kind of stuff end up over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some stickers in some places, and while I'm putting down those stickers and doing other stuff. I don't know. There's like parts of this video where I just disappear. I'm probably looking for something, but I'm just going to keep talking through it so that I can make sure I get everything out that I wanted to tell you guys about. So the first thing I wanted to tell you about was the happy birthday to Cozy Books, the 1 year it has been, 2023 of September. The second thing I want to tell you about, which wasn't that exciting, is that the Patreon has ended. So I wanted to kind of talk about it on here because I really haven't had a chance to really talk to anybody about it other than other artists that are on Patreon. So what happened was I started the Patreon 2 months ago, and this was something that my daughter and I were doing, and it was to help out my daughter. And I have like, we love to collaborate. We both have the same drawing style. She can draw leafy just as good as I can. She draws right now. Oh my gosh, she's taken Lily and she put funny legs on her, and I don't know. She's doing some funny things with Lily, but she's still freaking adorable. And I love my daughter's artwork, and so we like to collaborate on things. And what we were doing on the Patreon was we were collaborating on the Patreon. So we would take a topic, like the first topic that we did was the Halloween one. That was Monster Mash, and it was, here's what we want. You draw your thing, I'll draw my thing. and then we mesh it together, and then that's the collection that we come out with. We did cards, we did bookmarks, we did digital stuff like desktops, phone, the backgrounds for your phones, backgrounds for your desktops, that kind of stuff. We also did the stickers, we did the vinyls, did all kinds of stuff. And that was part of the Patreon. And then whatever tier you signed up for would depend on what kind of stuff that we would send you in like a snail mail package. The second month, wait, no, the first month we did the tea. So she loves, her and my husband, they love Bridgerton. Like they love it. I watched here and there, watched it sporadically, but I wasn't like obsessed with it, but they were totally obsessed with it. And they would chat about it all the time. So our very first collection was actually tea time and it was totally based on Bridgerton. It had like the old style tea cups and the teapots and lots of flowers and the wisteria and the whole English vibe and that whole thing. So that was the first one. Then the second one was Monster Bash. The third one she actually gave to me already, but I haven't done anything with it because I haven't done my half of it, but we don't have the Patreon anymore, so it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what we're going to do with that stuff. But anyway, that was our collaboration together. And with that, we were also going to kind of try to build a community on Patreon where we would have like a place to do lives and a place to do like posts for blogging and that kind of thing. And it was working out wonderfully. I was loving it. But shortly after I opened it, I received an email from Patreon telling us that there were some changes coming to Patreon. And we could decide to either increase our tiers so that the amount of money that we were having to pay extra would be basically absorbed by you guys, or there wasn't really any other option. So what the letter said was that Apple has decided that they want basically a piece of the Patreon pie, which means that they want some of the money that Patreon was getting from this. And what they wanted was 30%. Now, we already pay Patreon to be on the platform. They get a percentage of everybody's subscription. They get like a tiny little percentage of it. 30% is ridiculous. Like that is a ridiculous amount of money. This is supposed to be a place for artists. It's supposed to be a place for us to connect with our communities. And it's turned into just another big company coming in and taking money from the little guy. So I opted to shut it down before it really got started. So that's what that's why I'm having like this little discussion with you, is because I want you to know that it's gone now. If you want to stay connected with us, head over to the Facebook group and I will update over on the Facebook group like what kinds of changes that we're going to be doing. I will still show the artwork that Ashley and I are doing together. That's my daughter's name. And where you can find it, which will most likely be in the Etsy shop. So if you want to stay connected with us, that's the best place to do it for now until I find some other way to do it. I do have a Shopify site. You guys know that's where the subscriptions are. I am slowly moving artwork over there and trying to get it set up as like a secondary shop. I'm not going to get rid of Etsy. I started there. I will probably die there. So Etsy is staying in the picture, but I do have the Shopify for subscriptions because Etsy at this moment doesn't support subscriptions. So maybe I could do something over on the Shopify site with like there's a blog feature over there. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do some type of a smaller subscription for what we were doing on Patreon. I don't know. My daughter and I really have to sit down and talk about it. But because all of this was going into effect in November 1st, we decided that we just needed to shut it down now before anybody else signed up. And it was more difficult for us to decide what we wanted to do with it. So anyway, it is now, I think you could still sign up, but don't do it because I will I'm shutting it down anyways. So don't sign up, but I'm just letting you know that like I think you can still go over there and do things for free on my site. But if you are a Patreon person and you haven't been over there lately, I'm just letting you know that there's no billing for next month. It's going to stop. There won't be any anything sent out next month. And yeah, so anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Wanted to let you know what was going on with Patreon, because if you do have people that you're following over there that you absolutely love and you're wondering what the hell's going on and why they're closing up, that's why. That's what's happened. It's, Apple, some big corporations always want to take a piece of everything. So that being said, now that I got that out of the way, the other adventure that we have decided to do is we've decided to open a place called the Enchanted Flame. and that is going to be my daughter and I's candle shop. So we've always had like this deep love of like fantasy. My kids and I, the first movies that we actually started watching together that we still watch to this day were obviously Harry Potter. Then Lord of the Rings was a big part of their growing up, and so when we talk about making candles and wax melts, which is not anything new, we've been doing it for years and years and years. It's nothing new, but we've never had a store before. It's always been something that we just kind of added in. I think a while back, if you remember, there was some subscriptions that had wax melts. I didn't particularly like the way the wax melts came out, so I stopped it because a lot of you guys live where it's freaking hot, like really hot, and wax melts have to be a little bit soft in order for them to just melt under a candle flame or in a warmer. So they're kind of hard to ship without, like, if you get Scentsy in the summertime, your Scentsy is going to come with an ice pack in it. I can't afford that. I am by no means big enough to be shipping with ice packs in my stuff. So wax melts kind of ended up going away pretty quickly because we couldn't sustain that. There was no way. Like if we were farmers markets and stuff like that and inside of like small shops or whatever in town, we could totally do it. But as far as being able to ship those around the United States, it was impossible because things were just going to melt and I can't do that. I'm very picky. Like I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm super picky about like how you guys get my stuff, and I want to always make sure that everybody's happy and that everybody likes what they're getting, and always strive to fix if there's something wrong, to fix it. Well, I don't know how to fix melted wax. Like that's something that I could not figure out how to make that not happen. So what I ended up doing is just stopping that. But candles, we've been messing around with different waxes. So I've got a coconut wax, I've got a soy wax, I've got some beeswax, I've got all the things, a little bit of paraffin. And I've been kind of mixing and matching and trying to find the perfect blend. And the perfect blend also means that it has the perfect throw. If you're a candle person, you know what throw means, but that's the amount of scent that can be carried in the wax. I want my candles to smell. When you light up a candle, I want you to smell it. I don't want it to be just a pretty little thing crackling in the corner. I want you to be able to smell, because I want it to be like a whole experience. Like you light a candle and you're there. You're wherever the candle is meaning you to be. Like right now, the one that I just finished, and I posted about it on my Facebook group and the Instagram. There's a new Instagram for this as well. It's called The Enchanted Flame. If you want to follow it, then there's going to be kind of like a vlog series with it, because we've completely redone the shop and added in a whole section. Like there's a whole wall of shelving that went up to hold product and to hold finished product and stock and all that kind of stuff. So that is up, and we did like a little video series on that will be going up soon. I'm also going to be videoing our journey with the wax to find the perfect wax, to find the perfect scents. That's the other thing that we're doing, is that we're mixing our own scents and we're getting things locally here, because I don't know if you guys know, but up north we have lavender fields galore. So we're getting like local oils to use, plus learning how to mix oils together to get like the perfect scents for the things that we think. So let me give you an example. Lord of the Rings. Here's a good one for you. Long bottom leaf. What do you think long bottom leaf would smell like? To me, don't think smoke. Don't think nasty smoke. It does not smell like that. Tobacco leaf actually has a very pleasant scent. The leaf itself, once you burn it, it has a whole different smell to it. But you're not smelling the leaf anymore. You're smelling the smoke that comes from the leaf. If you think about how, like, what do you think long bottom leaf would smell like? Well, obviously it's going to smell a little bit like tobacco leaf, which is actually a pleasant smell. Maybe a little bit of wildflowers, because you're going to think like, what would they put in their tobacco leaf? Because they're in the Shire. What grows in the Shire? Well, there's a lot of meadows, there's a lot of flowers, there's like a woodsy area around them, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I think of when I think of long bottom leaf. So now the test is to figure out exactly how to combine those things into a cohesive smell that is pleasant and that when you burn it, makes you think long bottom leaf. And then you throw on Lord of the Rings and you sit down and you enjoy watching the movie with your candle burning. And the other thing about the candles is I want them to be in beautiful containers. So I'm looking towards like amber glass, clay pots, that kind of stuff. I want them to be really beautiful candles. I don't want them to be cutesy or anything like that. These are going to be like grown-up looking candles, like stuff that you could leave out on the shelf and it would look beautiful, and then you light it. And the wicks, I'm experimenting with the wood wicks, because what other thing that I want is the ambiance of the candle. So I want the crackling, the smell, the beautiful candle, like the whole thing. Like that's kind of the vibe that we're going for. So hopefully by the time we get this done, we will have that for you. So at the end of this video, I'm going to pop up the candle that I'm working on right now. And oh my gosh, you just have no idea. It smells amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's in a funky pink container because it's an experiment. I'm experimenting actually not with the scent. I've perfected the scent 100%. Like this is 100% Headmaster's office. That's what it's called. This is Dumbledore's office. Can't call it that. I will get crucified by the Warner Brothers. So it's going to be called the Headmaster's office. And I think I nailed what I feel Dumbledore's office would smell like. And it is absolutely fantastic. That's going to be the first candle that gets released. And it's going to be in the pot that I show you after I show you the pink one. We'll talk about it when I get to it, but it's not until the end of the video. So I wanted to kind of preface it before we get to it so that you know what it is when it pops up. I'm also showing you the pot that they'll be coming out in. And so that one's going to be called Headmaster Office. Like I said, that one's going to be the first one that comes out. And right now I am experimenting with the wicks. I want the wicks to crackle. I want them to burn perfectly. I want them to crackle. I did not know how hard it was to find wood wicks that did that you don't have to do something to it before you put it in the candle. So you'll see the wood wick, it's sticking way up out of the candle because I just poured this candle today, and it takes a week for it to cure before anything else can be done to it. So it's just going to sit for a week, and then I'll trim the wick down, and then we'll light it, and we'll see what happens. But smell-wise, this is what I think Dumbledore's office would smell like. So it's got a mix of like a creamy vanilla. You know how much he loves his candy. A little bit of orange. I've got some cedar, which would be like a smell that I feel like would be coming off of his fireplace while the fireplace is rumbling. And then it's an office, so you think of like leather and rich. So I've got there's the candle right there. Got some sandalwood. I've got some rich amber in there, and it's just an absolutely stunning scent. So here's the pots that they're going to be coming out in. And this is like a gray color, and it's got this beautiful wood top. Yep, that's what they're going to be coming in. And that one is going to be called the Headmaster's Office. So that is the next adventure. So I'll leave linked down below where you can find the actual Instagram. So you can follow the Instagram, and then it's going to have its own, everything is separated from Cocoa and Fluff. I don't want it to be together because, you know, even though planning and candles are very connected to me, I always have a candle burning on my desk, always. But I kind of want them to be not together, where I'm sure they're going to overlap because I know a lot of my planner friends specifically are very much into candles. Look at me, just like an animal, just rip that off of there. I was actually quite surprised when I ripped that in half, because if you've tried to rip this paper, it's not that easy. This is on the unicorn paper, and that is not easy to do. Anyway, always have candles burning, and so I know that a lot of people in the Facebook group are excited for this, and I'm really happy that they are. I'm going to try not to do a lot of overlap. I will probably like do a little blurb here and there because I really don't know. I really have no idea how to get this shop like going, how to get it off the ground, because there's so many candle shops out there that, you know, why not just get a candle from so and so or from so and so. And I'm sure that there's plenty of candle shops out there who are trying to do the same thing that I'm doing with like themed type candles, where some of the, as a matter of fact, let me pull out my thing and I'll tell you what some of the other scents are. Some of the other possible scents are that we figured out while we're doing this. And then that way it'll give you somewhat of an idea of where I'm coming from. So I know that there's a lot of other candle shops out there that do stuff like this, where they'll have like ideas like I have. But I'm just curious, like, if my research into each one of the ones that I've come up with, each one of the names that I've come up with, by knowing the stories, knowing the books, knowing like the descriptions of these things, like if that might make a difference in how it smells. Maybe my headmaster's office is going to be able to smell better than somebody else's headmaster's office, basically. Okay, so definitely you already know of Long Bottom Leaf. I already had that one in there because I wanted a couple of Lord of the Rings references to start with. We're also going to do some other ones as well, but for now I have only two that I came up with for that one, and the other one is the Shire Meadow. um, then we've got the headmaster's office, which I told you about, the Forbidden Forest for sure. Um, so Honeyduke's sweet shop. I wanted to have like kind of a sweet one, but not crazy sweet. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't want something that is, you smell it and you're like, oh, gross. That's like overpoweringly sweet. I wanted something a little bit more like maybe some peppermint and some chocolate and some like a sugary, like that kind of a smell, not like overpowering citrusy, sweet citrusy smell, I guess. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about that one. So we've got that one. How about the Great Hall? What do you think the Great Hall would smell like? When I think of the Great Hall, I'm thinking of the feasts in the Great Hall with the pumpkin pasties and the, like the spiced clove and honeyed mead and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking when I think of the Great Hall. How about the restricted section? What do you think the restricted section would smell like? I think of something dark and almost sinister, but in a somewhat of a like aged parchment and books, leather bound books, and maybe some amber and some vanilla and like that kind of a smell, kind of like a rich, almost kind of spooky dark scent. If you can wrap your head around that, and that one's going to be a hard one for me. That one's going to be really hard for me to figure out what scents I want for that. That's just what's in my head. That's not translated into smells yet. And then some of the other ones are like Agatha All Along is coming out, which by the time you see this, it may have already come out. I don't know. I can't remember what the release date was, but not necessarily that Agatha is what I wanted, but more of like the witch with the Halloween vibes, like the witchy vibes. And I'm not talking like pumpkins and stuff like that because that's just autumn scents. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking like the Hexed Garden or a bewitching brew or enchanted evening, like stuff like that. Like those are the kinds of scents that I'm talking about. So when you come to the Enchanted Flame, you're going to get something different, I hope, than everybody else, so that way you'll come back. So yeah, there's my spiel. I wanted to let you know here and now that that's what I'm doing on the side, so that when I talk about it later on, you guys know what it is, what the heck I'm talking about. Okay? Okay. So anyway, back to the planner. So on my daily pages, like I said, this page that's off to the side where I put down all those like extra stickers all wiki wonky all over the place, I don't really have anything that I do there. Sometimes I'll put a quote in there. Sometimes I'll just put a list of something that I'm working on. Sometimes it's a good brain dump for social media stuff, things that I need to get done, like certain posts that I need to bring out. And then the other one is the daily page. And see how I don't put a lot. I don't put a lot on the daily pages because I need space. I need space to write down my thoughts on the one side and my to-do lists on the other. So I just threw like a couple like important and then like social media stuff at the bottom just so that I can make sure I check off any of the social media stuff that I need to do that day. It doesn't need to be a super huge spot because I literally have 3 places that I post. And this actually, no, I really only had 3. I used to have 4. I used to have Patreon on there too, but now I've only got, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So maybe I'll try my hand at TikTok. I don't know. TikTok scares me, but this is where I'm at so far. I did take some pictures at the end because I did find my deco sheets from when this was an actual subscription. I don't have this as a subscription anymore. I am going to work on deco sheets. So something similar to the autumn artwork that I did, and I put out deco sheets for that. I also put out deco sheets for Plague Doctor. I will put out deco sheets for these as well. I just have to get them done. So I didn't have one available for while I was doing this plan with me, but I did find some extra pages that I had left over from the journaling kit and extra stuff that I had left over from like the small extra add-ons that I put into everybody's subscription. So after I finish putting these stickers down, I have a few pictures where I found those and I kind of added them in, and I did another daily page and another like extra blank page. So I'll show you those in just a second as soon as I am done with this one. So again, you can totally find this. You can find this over in the Etsy shop along with all of the other kits that I have done throughout the year. This being number one. I think this right here, just to, oh, that's the other things I need to tell you about. So isn't that so cute? I'm so excited about that one. That is going to be the January sub. So I just want to give you like a sneak peek of the washi tape from the January sub. So to give you somewhat of an idea, because in December, we are breaking in December. So there will be no subscriptions coming in December. So you will not be charged on December 1st, and nothing will be coming in the mail in December. We are gone. We are gone for 3 weeks. That does not leave me any time at all to get anything done for the month of December. So in January, we're going to start the whole new year out is exactly like that, a new year. So that one is called Me Time. That washi tape is a little sneak peek at what it's going to be. So I hope you enjoy your December off, but we still have 2 more subscriptions to go until then. So here's all the pictures. Thanks guys so much for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.